Pigs doing what pigs are supposed to do. Eating grass. That's plantain right there. Chomping it all down, and they're cleaning the area out, buddy. This is wonderful. Let's look down that fence line there. Of course, I've weed eated just on the inside of the fence and on the outside all the way out through here, but you can definitively choose which one's the weed eater and which one's the pigs. Hey, you want some food? All right, so pig tunnels. You look back down in there, it's hard to see on the camera, but it's pretty open and clear down in there now. Scroll back here. All right. So, good work by the pigs. Loving what they're doing. I threw some old cucumbers out here for them. They're excited. They're opening up all kinds of places in here. All right, let's go get some food. On you folks, if you don't have pigs, you've never raised pigs, and you have the opportunity to do it, you got to do it. They are awesome. I absolutely love them. I'm taking this route here. See, here's what I mean by the pig tunnels. Before you couldn't even see in there, and they've really got it opened up, just tearing that stuff up. And that's what we want to see. Here they come. They got their little pig trail. All right, back in there and everything. All right, so what in, oh, by the way, welcome to Hills and Hollers Homestead. What is going on in this world? You know, where we live here in West Virginia, I'm almost 51 years old. You had the occasional shooting, you had the occasional dummy who's going to run from the cops. In the probably last 5 months, we've had stuff that I've not seen in nearly 51 years here. We've had high-speed chases with shootouts. We've had a guy block the daggone interstate, shut it down, put his SUV crossways in the interstate, got out, laid down with a rifle, and was shooting at police officers underneath of his SUV. We've had multiple high-speed chases here and there. We've had shots fired calls. This is crazy. I've never in my life, and I've lived here in my entire life, seen or heard of the kind of stuff that we're seeing here today. And being in public service, let me tell you something, 32 years in healthcare, I've had my share. I know what's out there. I truly do. Now, this isn't like Cook County, Illinois, Chicago, you know, type of stuff, but I know what's out there. There's just as bad of people here as there is there. There's just a lot more of them there, okay? But it seems to me like more and more, we're getting a lot more bad apples in the area, or more and more people are getting to be worse. There was just a shooting today, a police-involved shooting today at a funeral. I'm not going to, you know, say what happened, because I'm really not sure what happened, other than what's going on, you know, preliminary reports from the news. But just know one fugitive considered armed and dangerous at a family member's funeral, he got shot. So, anyways, living in a rural area like this is a blessing. It truly is. And I've said that 100 times, and I'll continue to say that, because we just don't end up, we've got a few turds where I live, I'll put it that way. They're well known to the people in the area, so it's not like they're going to go around and get a lot of stuff and get by with it. So, you know, people always watch, especially when they know that they're around. Recently upgraded the security system at the house. I'm going to add more cameras in the future, but I've got pretty much 360 degrees around. I put up new motion detector floodlights. You know, I arm the system, and everything comes right here to my phone. I can see everything. I can hear everything. I can talk. I can listen back and forth on those cameras, and I can be anywhere in the world and do that, as long as I have connectivity. And that's another thing. Where we live here, we have high-speed internet. I have 100 megs hooked right up, high-speed fiber optic internet. I also have full 4G service on my cell phone. We haven't got 5G here yet. Across the hill they have 5G. This side of the hill we ain't got it. Why, I don't know. But when you think about things like that, just what's going on here recently in our area, you have to wonder, with the state of the affairs right now, our society has just been, the last couple of years has just been ridiculous. And as things continue to get worse, as the economy continues to falter, as the election nears, the midterm election nears, and then a presidential election 2 years out, we just know there's going to be social unrest. And the way things are going, it's probably going to be here as well as anywhere else. Probably not to the degree here, but it's social unrest nonetheless. And if you go back, every video I've put on from the beginning until now, if I've mentioned anything about the threats that we would face, regardless of the atmosphere, the situation, or the event, people are going to be our biggest threat. So I've come to understand that evil does not exist outside of the human heart. There is absolutely nothing in these mountains, in these woods, in these pigs, anywhere that is evil in and of itself. Evil comes from the human heart. And you know, some people may disagree with me. Some people who have specific religious views may disagree with me. But I'm going to tell you, I've never ran into an evil animal. I've never ran into an evil tree. I've never sat in the woods and seen an evil deer. I've never seen an evil hayfield. But I have definitely met evil people, and I have seen the worst of people. I've seen the best of people, and I've seen the worst of people. So anyways, I'm not going to get doomy and gloomy here. But, you know, with just the change in everything right now, I mean, yeah, the Seneca Caverns. If you guys are, if you're from West Virginia, familiar with Seneca Caverns, beautiful. Pendleton County, oh my God, it's one of the most beautiful places on the planet. One of my absolute favorite areas over there in Pendleton County. Beautiful attraction, beautiful natural cave. It's closed. They have a nice big restaurant. I mean, it is in a serene, pristine, beautiful setting. They have a restaurant, they have a gift shop, they have a little like gem mining set up and everything like that you can do for the kids. They closed. Can't keep staff, can't get it staffed. Now granted, it is in a very rural area. I mean, it's out there. There's nothing around there. And that's when we went up last summer, the guide that took us through the caverns even said that she was born and raised in the area. She was looking forward to get out of there to go to school because there was just nothing around there. And I reminded her of, as she gets older, she'll miss that nothing around there and really can't wait to get home. And we've all said that at 18 years old or even younger and stuff, that, you know, oh, there's nothing around here. There's nothing to do. There's nothing for this. There's nothing for that. And then as we start to build our life and we get into the rat race and the hustle and the bustle, that nothing to do, nothing around there, man, that gets more and more attractive all the time. And, you know, I love the season change. I'm not a huge fan of winter, but I don't mind it. The only thing about season change that I don't like around here is that I can just start to see the neighbors when the leaves are off. And that doesn't mean my neighbors are bad. I just like the privacy up here and the seclusion when we do have foliage on. But anyways, that aside, this world, look, I got to tell you something. You know, again, I'm not being doom and gloom, but I just don't see things getting better anytime soon. I actually think things are going to get worse, be it the economy, the whole job market, food, supply chain, all of that. And we've all said that. Every channel on the Facebook or every channel on YouTube that, you know, deals with homesteading or preppers or anything like that, it's all the same stuff. And there's something to that. It doesn't mean that everybody's out there wearing tinfoil hats. There's something to that. It's the economy, it's the atmosphere, it's you know, social unrest that we see coming. It's the supply chains, it's food interruptions, food shortages and stuff. And that's where, you know, security comes in more than one form, or more forms than just security cameras and stuff like that. So without dragging this out and just beating a dead horse over and over and over again, 3 months minimum of food and water in your home. 3 months minimum, or at least have a way of purifying water, sterilizing, purifying water in your home. And that's 3 months of food for every single person in your home, not just, okay, well, we've got 3 months of food. No, there needs to be 3 months of food for you. There needs to be 3 months of food for your wife. There needs to be 3 months of food for your kids, each individual kid. If you got kids, every single person in that house should have a 3-month supply of food. And the same for water. You should have the ability to sterilize, purify, and or supply water for each person. And, you know, FEMA says a gallon a day. I always say a gallon and a half, because you have to consider toileting. You have to consider just a little bathing here and there to wash yourself off. And, you know, in instances like that, cooking and a little bit of cleaning and stuff like that to help, you know, maintain sanitation. So, you know, get yourself some water purification set up or something like that, or, you know, get some bottled water. It's always good to have that on hand as well, because that's individual sized for, you know, you, and you could drink 3 of those a day, 2 or 3 of those a day, and be fine with your hydration status, unless you have some kind of medical condition that would, you know, say otherwise. But, you know, it's not an end of the world scenario. I'm not talking Bible revelations. I'm not talking none of that stuff. I don't think what we see today, and I've addressed this in the past, I don't think this is end time stuff. I really don't, because for 50 years I've heard that end time stuff. And, you know, every time something bad happens or something gets a little rough, everybody kind of equates that to end time biblical stuff. And you know, I'm not going to argue religion on here, but we'll just keep it like that. Just remember, beware false prophets. And let me tell you something, for 50 years I've been listening to a lot of false prophets, or I've been hearing what they say. So don't equate this to the end of the world. This is just a situation that those of us who live in this society, that have, you know, good morals, good values, we work, we pull our own weight, we pull our own share, we help others, we live a good life, we don't break the law, we're productive members of society. We've allowed things like that, things to get how they are, because we've just kind of sat back and be quiet. And I think that's changing rapidly. And I think, especially with the midterms, you're going to see a huge shift in the political power. And I think within the next year, you're going to see a huge upset from that big white house up there in DC, because let's just say I think something probably going to end up happening as things go on. And that's just going to create more and more turmoil, more and more separation and division. And of course, the media is going to continue to you know, divide people and press that issue and keep that division going. And we don't want that. But unfortunately, it's the things we have to face. So with all that said, get your house in order. Make sure you got your food, your preps in place. Make sure you've got, you know, sanitation. Make sure you've got water. Make sure you've got food. Make sure you've got alternative forms of energy, alternate forms of communication. Everything that you typically need, not everything that you typically indulge in. So, you know, stock up on those things that you do eat. Don't get exotic. Don't get ridiculous in the amounts or types of food that you would never eat otherwise. And just keep working for that security, that safety. Worst case scenario, you come out on the other side of this with an abundance of food that you can eat from and save yourself a little money in a grocery line as everything is starting to recover. So yeah, I do think it's going to get worse. I think it's going to continue to get worse. And I think things haven't hit rock bottom yet. And I think they're going to hit there. I think within the next several months, you're going to see that. Not that we want to see it, but it is. Keep cash on hand, keep money safe, keep it secure. Don't rely on keeping your money in the bank. Always have some cash on hand. Like I said, try to get your debt is paid off or as paid down as possible. You know, put those indulgences and wants aside and really hammer your debt and get it knocked out as much as you can, because I think things are going to get tight. And just having those extra food stores is going to keep you from having to go to a store, stand in lines, fight with people to get products, or, you know, spend all that money in gas and fuel traveling when times are even worse. So we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I don't know. Every time I even find a news article anymore, I just want to close my eyes and go by it, because we can't block out reality, but that is the reality of things that do happen around here. So anyways, keep working to starve that system. Get prepared, stay prepared, take care. God bless.